Hey, what about the showdown last night? This is going to be the basis of Kane's volcano, which is, as I said in the introduction, one for the ages, but there's a huge story to come out of this.
There is, TJ. It revolves around Dan Houston's hit on Izak Rankine here in the third quarter, and we're going to be debating this for a few moments now. Everyone's got a view on this. The only important view that we're going to next get from an AFL perspective is Michael Christian's head of the match review office. I'd be surprised, TJ, if that doesn't go straight to the tribunal, just to let the system, which I think is convoluted system, but just let the system itself work it out, because he does make contact with him and he was taken out of the game, Rankin, with a concussion element to it. So that all needs to be factored in. But I also argue, and this will be attempted to be mitigated.
What is the alternate argument?
Yeah, well, the alternate argument is he didn't make contact with the head. And as far as AFL players are concerned, the bump is not yet eliminated from the game. So that will be part of the posturing behind the scenes. I know you've got strong views on it, Kane, and we've got a conditioning of the responsibility being taken by the player making a contact for the ramifications of the act.
And that's where it's at. So you've got the opposition player in a vulnerable position. The duty of care of the player playing against him is to not do that. I mean, when you've got the alternative to be able to tackle and you elect to bump, whilst, yes, the initial contact didn't get him in the head, the contact with the ground knocks him out. It's a shocking look for the game. I expect it to be at least 4 weeks minimum. I think there's an argument for send-off rules in types of incidents like that, because Adelaide at a critical stage lose their best player. Port get to keep theirs on, and it may be the last game Dan Houston plays.
Well, if they finish top two and win their first final, that will eliminate him from a grand final if they then make it.
I don't think he plays again this year.
How do you think they grade it, Damo?
Brownie, I'm a sceptic when it comes to these matters. I feel they'll give him a chance to play in a grand final should Port get there. So, again, I know that what I'm saying doesn't back up with the science, but I would reckon he might get 3 weeks to give himself a chance to play in a grand final.
Is there a rule where he can get off because he didn't hit him in the head?
The legal Eagles will have to go to work really hard on it, and that will be the starting point. And I think it's a good mounting case at the outset of it, yes.
And that's why you can't have a send-off rule, per se, for an incident like that. Because once that goes to the tribunal, assuming it does, then there might be a clever legal eagle who sort of says, that didn't go to the head. That is not against what we're being told.
I get what you're saying, but the umpires, for whatever reason, did pay a free kick. But if that's in a grand final and it's at a critical stage and opposition lose their best player and you get to keep yours on, how's that fair?
Okay, so what if he's sent off and then the tribunal finds him to be not guilty?
Yeah, for me, that's just a clear-cut one.
Yeah, but you're not the tribunal.
Yeah, I know, but I think most people would be in agreement that if you can go upstairs, review the footage, he elects to bump, he's concussed badly, he's out of the game. Pretty straightforward.
But equally, the rules will stay. You can bump a player that way. It's just that the head contact was the problem.
So you're saying the alternate action on his part was a tackle?
Yes.
And he, and I agree, had plenty of time to make that premeditated decision to tackle as opposed to bump.
But on your point, it's a great point you make, because Patrick Cripps got 2 weeks. We all thought he should have gone. I know they've changed the rules now. He gets off it and wins a Brownlow because of it.
Yeah.
So Carlton would probably sue the AFL in the end,
absolutely.
down the track, that he was sent off and he eventually got off. So that's where it's a tricky one.
He was fortunate to get off the charge on Calamachi. Lockie Jones had an issue too with Rolly Philthorpe on this matter, and it was a tunnelling motion. Again, I don't feel there's any malice in what Philthorpe did there, but again, it was a fiery game, wasn't it? And other circumstances could have seen a free kick paid.
That wasn't even a free kick either. And that's one, I think, for the end of the year, and we saw one with Eric Hipwood earlier on in the year with Blakey that they and the MRO need to look at seriously. That should be a reportable offence also.
Zak Butters is going to join us shortly.
Yeah, and he was awesome last night, TJ. The record amount of disposals in a showdown ever, so 42 last night. Adelaide showed him no respect, and this was always the challenge for Adelaide. They had a stacked forward line. Port Adelaide was undermanned, but Port Adelaide's midfield is their strength, and he was a leader in there last night. So 10 clearances for him, 42. He had 20 contested possessions. He kicked a goal late and won the medal, but Rosie was also huge. 9 clearances for him, and Horn Francis 7. So when you package up 26 clearances between the 3 Port Adelaide gun midfielders, Adelaide had no answers, and they showed him no respect last night.
OK, here we go. This is time for the volcano. I don't want to give anything away, but Josh Rachele, if you're watching, maybe flick over to Netflix, mate.
Yeah, turn over right now, Josh Rachele, because you embarrassed yourself during the week, firstly with this.
You can just hear all the Port fans with their no teeth in the background. I did mention on Nova before that the Port supporters don't have many teeth, so that was a...
Oh, really? And then he doubled down with his Instagram story straight after with this. So there it is. Apologies, Port fans. And it's not even like... to me, it's not even a funny joke. Like, if it was clever, if it was funny, you go, OK, well, there's a bit of humour behind this and it builds it up. And then he kicked a goal. It was his one half-decent moment in the game last night. Here it is where, you know, late in the second term, he kicks that nice goal and goes over to the Port fans and does this. Now,
It's a good celebration, though.
This is the player who has said that he probably needs to put the celebrations away after he had some really iffy moments in the early stages of the year where he didn't go hard enough. Well, you like it, Brownie, if you can back it up. You don't like it when you do that and then you have a real critical moment in a showdown which is built on physicality and you shirk the issue. Not for the first time this year, Josh Rachele. He's got a real issue in his game where he struggles to accept physical contact. So when you do that, when you set the tone with those comments, when you celebrate like that in the face of the opposition and you can produce a performance that has 10 possessions and 1 tackle and a really ordinary moment in the middle of the ground and then you lose, you are now the laughing stock of the competition. So we're talking, you've embarrassed yourself and you're a laughing stock. Port Adelaide are laughing at him right now.
But isn't there also a case to Mount Kane that, you know, we want that sort of character in the game? Do you know what I mean?
There is,
and as Nathan said, that celebration, in 3 years' time when we do a Lordo's deep dive on celebrations, that's going to feature prominently, and we'll all laugh.
Yeah, so I think
everything was fine except when he pulled out.
Well, that, and he's got to play better. I mean, and that's not the first time he's pulled out this year. He's had a number of iffy moments. If I was him, I'd be earning some respect in the game with the way you go about it before getting ahead of yourself and doing that. Now, the Hawthorn stuff, you go, well, Hawthorn are celebrating. Well, yeah, they are. I think they celebrate together. I think there's a bit of me about Josh Rachele, and he celebrates on his own. For me, the Hawthorn, they're backing it up with their performance, and they're all in it together. Once again, you look at Ollie Wines after the game, I'm telling you, Port Adelaide and the AFL world right now are laughing at Josh Rachele.
Has Matthew Nick's been asked about Rachele's comments during the week at all?
I'm not sure whether he was, but if you were Matthew Nicks, in the off-season probably is the right time to say, come on, just take a step back with this. Let's get your football right.
Wasn't it Port Adelaide the last 2 seasons leading into the showdown
100%.
saying very similar things against Adelaide?
And Brownie, I volcanoed them.
Isn't that what the showdown's about?
No, well,
building up the rivalry?
Not when you can't deliver. So Port Adelaide, you're spot on. We hate Adelaide and then they'd lost 3 in a row and I'm sitting here going, well, stop talking. Let your footy do the talking. So they did pull back. It was Adelaide. Fogarty also made some stupid comments earlier on in the week and when you don't deliver and when you play as poorly as that, it comes back to bite you.
Yeah. For someone who is theatrical, though, you don't like a lot of theatre from players, do you?
Well, did you like that? Do you think that is a good reflection on Josh Rachele and the Adelaide?
No, but I think the Adelaide Crows have got bigger problems than what Josh Rachele's doing. They've won 8 matches in a season that they set out to finish top 4.
And that's all part of it, Damo, as well. Like when you say this is our mini grand final, when Darcy Fogarty says I'll be the cherry on top if we can end Port Adelaide's season.
They're 4th last.
And you deliver that, exactly right, which is all involved in the volcano here today.
The one thing I'll back Kane up on, like your players who are the best in our game, I don't think they'd sit there in an interview and question the teeth of the opposition's fans.
Well, you guys have been hanging the proverbial on me for years about teeth. So why are Port Adelaide fans immune to it?
I'm saying, like, say, I couldn't imagine, say, on the eve of a big game, let's say Collingwood v Melbourne, that Scott Pendlebury would sit there and question the teeth of a Melbourne, or the Melbourne fans are off at the snow. I just reckon that's probably something that players get it wrong at times, where he hasn't probably earned that respect or can't back it up. I just do think Bontempelli, Lockie Neal, these guys, that's what I think Josh needs to aspire to and maybe just worry about his football.
But we don't want a competition of robots either.
Yeah, that's true. But
do you think that reflects well on him though, TJ?
In my personal view, yeah.
You think that reflects well on him?
You think
that's enhanced his reputation?
What I see is a bit of character. OK, now I get your point, he's got to back that up, but I see a bit of character, which is what the game's lacking.
Yeah, I thought it was embarrassing. OK,
no, that's fine, and it was a worthwhile volcano, but I think, well, we'll find out on the socials, you know, sort of, and this is not an exercise in creating hate.
Are we going to let the socials judge us?
No, well, you're right, actually, yeah. Well, I think we're all in the green
Put up a poll.
Sorry?
Put up a poll. See who's right.
Who are you voting?
I like what Josh Rachele brought to the table during the interview. I like the fact that he celebrated, but to Kane's point, he needed to back it up on field, and he didn't back it up on field. But we don't want to take away the theatrics of players and be robots, to your point.
Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. So much to take out of the latest showdown encounter. Lordo, you can kick us off.
Oh, it's a wonderful win for Port Adelaide. They are in fantastic form. I don't think people are giving them the respect they deserve, including me, I suppose, in terms of their premiership credentials. And it was a good win. Big last quarter for them. Zak Butters, our guest, 42 disposals, by far and away best on ground. Rosie, Wines, Horn Francis were all big. And I thought Jordan Dawson was the Crows' best player on the night. But Zak Butters does join us, the medalist again last night. Congratulations, Zak, on your performance. And just for us who have never played in a showdown, talk us through just how much it means to you guys to get that win in a big game like that.
Yeah, it's definitely a big rivalry over here, and we really love playing in them, and the whole state really rallies behind it, whether you go for Crows or Port Adelaide. There's a lot of passion about it, so big games you love being involved in.
On the Josh Rachele week that he had then, Zak, like how much did that fuel you guys, and does it give you any extra incentive when a player comes out and says what he says?
Yeah, I guess we spoke about it as leaders of the footy club and also the playing group, and we just really wanted to focus on us and what makes us a really good team, and what's coming for us in the future weeks of the year. And I feel like we didn't really want to buy in to that off-field talk as much, and we just wanted to go out there and try to get a win and focus on our season.
So when you said you and the leaders spoke about it, you specifically spoke about his comments on the 2 radio stations and leading into the game.
I wouldn't say just his comments, but more just about us as a group and what we can control, and sort of not buying into getting too overhyped or too emotional about it, and just focusing on what makes us a really good footy team. And I feel like we've kept things pretty simple the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, and that's what's had us playing some really good footy, so we just really wanted to stick to that.
Zak, it wasn't that long ago that your coach was being booed, talking about missing the finals and maybe Ken being moved on. How have you turned it around in the last 8 weeks?
Yeah, I think as a playing group, we've just done it together. We spoke about not riding the lows when they get low, and when they get too high, not riding the highs. So just keeping things well balanced and really all buying in together. And I think the most pleasing thing about it is that everyone's brought in, and everyone chipping in and playing their role. And we've had a really well-rounded 22 performers every week, and that's probably the most thing I'm proud of.
Zak, it was an emotional moment in the third quarter when Izak Rankine was collected by Dan Houston, and the follow-up to it, the addressing of the moment at three-quarter time by yourself and other leaders of the Port Adelaide Footy Club. I know you can't comment on what may happen from here, but can you just take us through your perspective, please, as to that moment itself and what you said to Dan at three-quarter time?
Yeah, definitely a high emotion scenario. The Showdowns are emotional as they is, so that obviously added a bit to it. But and I hope Izak's all right. He's a superstar player, and no one wants to see anyone go through that or be in that position. So wishing him a speedy recovery. But as Dan, I just wanted to support him as a teammate and as a mate off the field as well, and just make sure that he knew we were going to support him for the rest of the game, and just for him to try and still play good footy and help us win the game of football. So as a footy club, we'll throw our arms around Dan as well.
And as a leader of the club, is there a fear that you may not have him for the remainder of the season right now?
Yeah, I think it's in the MRO's hands and how they judge it and what they decide to do with it. So, I guess it's hard for me to comment on and sort of judge what will be the outcome. But, we definitely want him out there with us. He's one of our most important players.
Felt like they lost their composure after that. They gave away a number of off-the-ball free kicks and 50-metre penalties. Now, you yourself have been criticised for losing your cool at times this year, as has Jason Horne-Francis. So take us inside the discussions on-field in the blowout and the fallout from that incident where you held your nerve and focused on the footy and they lost their composure.
Yeah, in a way, it was a good test to me. I think it's something I've been working on along with Jason as well. And me being a bit older than him, I've sort of taken it on board to try and actually lead him and sort of not let him down in that area. So, working with some Kenny and Kari around the footy club and just being more balanced in them scenarios. And, we just had a quick chat as a whole group and said, let's just focus on the contest and the footy and let the rest sort itself out post that. So, we just really wanted to win the game of footy, and I thought we had a good mindset to do that post that incident.
So you're now the most fined player in the history of the game, I'm told. Has the club spoken to you around that, or they say, no, this is what makes you such a special player because you play on the edge? How has that been handled internally at Port Adelaide?
No, definitely Kenny and CD and Kari have definitely spoken to me about it. And there's ones that aren't acceptable from my end, and then there's some that are more footy incidents and whatnot. So the ones off the ball where I get a bit frustrated and angry, they're the ones I can control, and they're the ones I've been working on. And just trying to smile and have some fun and not get too flustered and carried away. So, there's definitely some room there, and I'm not shying away from that I can be better in that space.
See, Zach, normally when you have a win, you come on the show and you talk about how great the game was and how great the finals are going to be and everything. Sorry, mate, we've given you an absolute grilling. Seen any good movies lately?
I went to the movies with my mum the other night. We watched Twister. So that's pretty good. Didn't mind that. A bit of popcorn was nice.
Okay.
TJ, I'm about to give him a 10 votes.
Oh,
That's how
good,
he
yes.
was, so he can smile at this because I haven't given a 10 all year, but this man is a special player and, as I said, just so tough, skillful and tough. 42 disposals, 20 contested. He lays tackles. He does everything, this man. So he kind of Rosie Horn, Francis and Dawson.
Won the Lexus last year, did Zak Butters as well, making a late charge. Now, the prize pack has been updated and it is even more extensive. You're off to Gumbaya World where water slides, through wides and wildlife collide, Brownie.
Quokkas.
The Quokkas are there, unlimited access to the family pass thanks to the team at Gumbaya World. The J-Labs, there they are. One pair of mini J-Buds thanks to J-Lab. Their true wireless and pack over 5 hours of playtime. There's the Clutch & Co. You'll be best dressed on the golf course with a quarter zip top and pants from Clutch & Co. And a new addition, as we'll kit you out with Cat star Brad Close's clothing brand. Be Close, your swing, your style. There's the Callaway Tour golf balls and a cap thanks to our great mates at Callaway. The Travis Matthews, another 2 hats for you and the playing group thanks to Travis Matthews. True Links Wear, the golf shoes that are so good you want to wear them everywhere. Check them out, truelinkswear.com.au. There's the bar fridge, custom design your own bar fridge. As we scroll across to the Aquilas, premium quality footwear since 1958. The Cookie Box, Melbourne's finest artisan cookie shop. Treat yourself to a special delivery thanks Cookie Box. A meal with our friends at Platform 28. Next time you're in the Docklands, head in there and tell them Lordo sent you. A pair of Rick's Eyewear, eyewear that inspires confidence, especially the Soho Cherries, rickseyewear.com.au, and elevate your wardrobe with the latest streetwear style from St. Goliath.
Wow, there you go, Zach. It was worthwhile, mate. Facing all those curly ones.
Thanks, boys. Thanks for having me on. Cheers, chompers. Chomp, chomp.
Oh, brilliant.
You're being
Funny
nice
when
to
you
him
don't
as well.
expect it, isn't it?
Oh,
It's least expected.
Oh, it's hysterical. It's hysterical. So teeth jokes are okay. Teeth jokes are okay, are they? All right.
You have lovely teeth. You have lovely teeth.
All right, good on you, mate. You're welcome here anytime at all, Zach. Good man, good sense of humour, and that's what we like in football, Kane, someone with a sense of humour.